Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone.
We are going to present our paper for Conaplin titled The Activations of Learner Metacognitions to Promote Learning Autonomy of Good Language Learner.
My name is Anggraeni. I am a master's student of English Education Program of Indonesia University of Education.
And I am Rahman, a lecturer of Indonesian University of Education in Sumedang. The organizations of these presentations will be the rationales and objective. Next, we are going to discuss about the supporting literature. Then go on to the methodology, followed by the finding and discussions. And of course, in the end, we are drawing the conclusions. First, I'm going to describe about the rationales and objective of this paper. Previously, the teachings and learning process took place at school, where students and teachers interacted through various teaching and learning strategies. Since the pandemic of COVID-19 spread throughout the world, including Indonesia, the education field has also got an impact. Academic interactions has been limited. Many schools have been closed for a particular time. Flipped learning in the flipped classroom come to use as a solution, since students and teachers cannot hold the teaching and learning process face-to-face or direct teaching. Nevertheless, it is believed that to become autonomous, learners should enhance their metacognitions. It should involve a repeated diagnosis of learners' beliefs about language learning, preferred style, learning needs, and objective to equip them with criteria for choosing optimum strategies, resources, and activities for the individualized program, as what Victory and Lockhart 1995 stated. So this study aimed to describe to what extent the relationship between the learning autonomy and good language learners and the activations of their metacognitions.
Since COVID-19 pandemic hit the world at the beginning of 2020, our government responded by issuing SKB 4 Menteri by August 2020. It becomes the basis to the flexibility given in educational field in Indonesia. It covers the flexibility to implement the curriculum and also to choose the approach of teaching and learning that are suitable to the condition. Bishop and Verliger 2013 stated that the flipped classroom is a pedagogical method using a synchronous video to replace the teacher's explanation. Practice problems as homework and vigorous group-based problem-solving activities in the classroom. However, Fisher et al. 2017 stated that the initial stage of flipped learning can even lead to student frustration and less satisfaction. So it is essential to prepare them to some extent with the capacity of learning autonomy. Holleck 1979 give the criteria of learning autonomy. Those are determining learning objectives, defining contents and progression of learning, selecting method and techniques to be used, monitoring the procedure of acquisition, and evaluating what has been acquired. Yet, Victory and Lockhart 1995 stated that to become autonomous, learners should enhance their metacognition. It should involve a repeated diagnosis of learners' belief about language learning, preferred style, learning needs, objective to equip them with criteria for choosing optimum strategies, resources, and activities for their individualized programs. Griffith gives the criteria of learning metacognition. Those are preparing planning for learning, selecting use strategies, monitor learning, orchestrating strategies, and evaluating learning. However, Kayoglu 2013 found that the use of different strategies is claimed to distinguish between good and poor language learners. The difference lies in the range of the cognitive level of the learning strategy used. Good language learners tend to use greater range of strategies. They also select strategies that involve higher degree of metacognitive awareness.
The methodology of this research. First is the participant. There are 26 students of graduated program, major in English Education department, took place in this research. They were chosen using purposive random sampling from the populations. The population itself is graduated program of English Education Department. However, 12 out of 26 students were employed as participants. Further, the procedure. Those 12 participants are taken because we considered them as the autonomous learners. They were filled in the survey to check their metacognitive level. After that, they were asked to answer 5 open-ended questions through online-based form without any treatment based on Griffith. Those 5 open-ended questions are based on Griffith criteria of metacognitions. After collecting the survey data, the participant answers were analyzed using contextual coding, as what is said in Silverman 2015. They were categorized as the following. First, preparing and planning for learning. Second, selecting and using strategies. Third, monitoring learning. Fourth, orchestrating strategies. And the last one, evaluating learning. Those criteria are directly taken from Griffith 2008. And the result of coding was the source to decide which aspect of metacognitive appear on participants. After that, the data analysis takes place. Descriptive qualitative analysis was employed to answer the questions. The researcher played as a complete observer. So we are not interfering anything with the participant. We only give them the questionnaires and also survey. From the categorized data, the result of the metacognitive aspect can be seen clearly. The complete result of the data analysis is discussed in the discussions.
The next part of this video is the findings and discussion. Both finding and discussion are arranged by the criteria of learning metacognition. The first criteria is preparing and planning for learning. 92% of the participants prepare and plan their learning. The degree of frequency in answering the questionnaire was shown from always to seldom. The planning was also taking place in different parts of process. Some in the learning strategy, some in material preparation, some in the process. The next criteria is selecting and using learning strategies. 92% of the participants select and use their learning strategies. They claim that they know their strengths and weaknesses to decide what best learning strategies. The third criteria is monitoring learning strategy used. Still, 92% of the participants monitor their learning strategy. They monitor through self-reflection and self-assessment of their learning strategies and also the procedure of acquisition. The fourth criteria is orchestrating strategies. 92% of the participants orchestrate their learning strategies. They claim that with self-commitment, courage, creativity, and critical thinking, those are important factors to the success of their learning. And the last one is evaluating learning. All participants claim that they evaluate their learning. They believe that by evaluating both the process and the result of learning, they will come up with the resolution of what should and should not be done for the improvement of their next learning. The aspect of the process of learning evaluated covers the strategy and also how to monitor them. The effect comes into the objective and the attainability of their objectives. And the last part of this video is the conclusion.
For the conclusions, there is a pattern between the two variables. Those who are autonomous learners are, to some extent, can also be categorized as learners with metacognitions. This tendency can be explained from a constructivist perspective, where both variables are influenced by the concept of learner-centeredness.
The second conclusion is, however, it cannot be denied that some autonomous learners come out without showing all metacognitive criteria. As it is proven in this research, 1 out of 12 participants of this research is considered as autonomous learner without showing all 5 mentioned components.
More comprehensive research on other learner variables relates to the anomaly circumstance is needed. As the implications of this study, teachers as well as the lecturer need to be aware of these 2 variables and come up with a teaching strategy that pays attention to them to assure a higher degree of success in language teaching and learning.
Precisely in this circumstance where flipped learning is considered as a solution to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic, the situation engagement is lessened, so it is important for the student to somehow own the capacity of learning autonomy by previously activating learning metacognition through proper strategies. It's heavy rain, guys.
Thank you so much. Hope there are some input for our paper presentations. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.